Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the case of Maecee Marie Lathers? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put a link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. Maecee Marie Lathers was born in June 2000 and lived in Fort Plain, New York. This small town is about an hour west of Albany. She graduated from college and, in 2022, moved to Florida. Maecee represented herself as an entrepreneur and a model, claiming that she was affiliated with 2 modeling agencies. She started an Instagram account, which has over 14,000 followers, although some of those followers were added after the incident I will be talking about in a moment. I believe she had about 11,000 prior to the incident. In her bio, Maecee indicated that she had money on her brain and was lit in real life. The images and videos featured on her Instagram account appear to indicate a party lifestyle, complete with luxury vehicles, yachts, and expensive hotels. Maecee had a particular fascination with her own posterior region, as it was often the target of her camera. On January 16, 2024, Maecee's driver's license was suspended. However, she continued to drive her Mercedes-Benz sedan. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. On August 10, 2024, just after 6:45 a.m., Maecee was traveling south on North Miami Avenue in her Mercedes-Benz. As she approached a red light at the intersection with North 8th Street, Maecee failed to stop. Her vehicle ran through the red light and slammed into a black Range Rover. After this initial collision, both the Mercedes and the Range Rover slammed into a silver Suzuki. The driver of the Range Rover suffered minor injuries. There were 3 people in the Suzuki. 1 was killed instantly. 1 was taken to a hospital and died, and 1 survived with injuries. It appeared as though Maecee suffered no injuries or minor injuries in the collision. She could be seen on video surveillance walking on the sidewalk headed north on North Miami Avenue. The hood of her sweatshirt was pulled up as if she was trying to hide her face from cameras. After walking several hundred feet, Maecee crouched down on the sidewalk for a few seconds, then stood up and continued walking in the same direction before abruptly turning around. Now she was walking back toward the fatal collision that she had caused. She mixed in with several other people who were jogging in the area and walked to the scene of the collision. The authorities would later indicate that bystanders confronted Maecee and made her return to the scene, but no confrontation was captured on the released video. At the scene, the body cameras of first responders captured Maecee on the ground, screaming and vomiting. She told the police that she was on a party drug referred to as 2C, which is technically called 2CB. The investigation into the collision revealed that 5 seconds before it happened, Maecee was traveling at 57 miles per hour. The accelerator was at 100%, so her foot was to the floor. At the time of the collision, she was traveling 78 miles per hour. Maecee was arrested and charged with several offenses, including 2 counts of vehicular homicide, reckless driving, driving with a suspended license, and causing injury. Initially, she was held on house arrest, but this changed after her toxicology report came back. She had a variety of drugs in her system, although not alcohol. Maecee was charged with 2 counts of DUI manslaughter and held without bond. The judge said, "I think she's extremely dangerous." Now moving to my analysis. The drug 2CB is both a stimulant and a hallucinogen. It is also referred to as Nexus and pink cocaine. The drug is part of the 2C family of synthetic psychedelic drugs. The active ingredient is a drug called 2CB, which is often shortened on the street to the term 2C. The drug was first synthesized in 1974 and was initially used in conjunction with psychotherapy to treat mental disorders. Later, the drug became illegal in the United States. These days, the drug is popular on the party scene as a substitute for ecstasy. Although often referred to as pink cocaine, strictly speaking, 2CB should not actually contain any cocaine. As is the case with many illegal drugs, the formulation of the drug is not consistent. People who manufacture and distribute substances often find creative ways to mix them based on the availability of chemicals and with profit in mind. Sometimes pink cocaine is nothing more than a mixture of drugs like ketamine, ecstasy, and, on rare occasion, cocaine. It is not even 2CB at all. The quality control instituted by drug dealers is nothing short of criminal. 2CB can cause hallucinations, increased empathy, euphoria, and a sense that colors and patterns are enhanced. It also causes anxiety, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, sweating, confusion, paranoia, loss of concentration, giggling, spasms, intestinal discomfort, and an increased heart rate. The effect of the drug usually lasts for between 4 and 12 hours. 2CB sounds like the perfect addition to any party as long as people want to vomit in a state of confusion while sweating profusely. Moving back to the story of Maecee Lathers, when she said that she took pink cocaine, there's no way to know what she actually had in her system without testing. It's likely what she consumed was simply a mixture of ketamine and ecstasy. When combining her statements with the fact that she was vomiting, it is reasonable to believe that she was significantly impaired by her drug use. In addition, Maecee told the authorities that she came from the future, had a crystal ball, and aliens were coming. There is not much question as to her guilt. I think Maecee will probably be convicted of 2 counts of DUI manslaughter, as well as other charges, unless the state offers her some type of plea bargain. In the state of Florida, DUI manslaughter is a second-degree felony that is punishable by 4 to 15 years in prison. Therefore, Maecee is facing 8 to 30 years in prison, not counting any of the other charges. In addition to a magical prison journey, her driver's license may be permanently revoked. I think this would be a good idea. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Maecee Lathers was self-centered, impulsive, immature, hedonistic, grandiose, shallow, failed to regulate her intake of substances, falsely believed she was special, and had a sense of entitlement. Her personality traits meant that she was well qualified to be an Instagram model. It's not clear how Maecee made a living, but she had access to a luxury car and plenty of drugs. For some reason, her license was suspended, which usually doesn't happen by accident. It stands to reason that Maecee did something which caused this to happen. Perhaps she did not abide by all the traffic laws. Whatever the reason for the suspension, Maecee was well aware that she was not allowed to drive. Instead of following the law, Maecee invested in her belief that she was an amazing person and should not be subject to societal norms. Furthermore, she felt entitled to take illegal substances. On the day of the fatal collision, Maecee was impaired and drove through a red light at 78 miles per hour. There is no information available about a catalyst for this behavior, like a relationship gone bad or an argument. Maybe this was just a regular day. Maecee just didn't care at all. She had a reckless disregard for the safety of others. After killing 2 people in the collision, Macee's first thought was to escape responsibility. She walked along North Miami Avenue with her hood pulled up to conceal her identity. For some reason, perhaps due to an interaction with bystanders, Maecee returned to the scene of the collision and was arrested. She probably did believe that she was from the future and aliens were on the way, which indicates a disconnect from reality. Despite this, Maecee was thinking clearly enough to flee the scene. What would justice look like in this case? These cases are so challenging as far as arriving at any type of fair sentence. There is no way to know what should be done without learning more about Macee's background. It is possible that Maecee was drugged without her knowledge. Maybe she was running from somebody. There are all kinds of possible explanations for her behavior which could mitigate or even eliminate her culpability. Based on the information available right now, and if Maecee is convicted of manslaughter, I would say that a fair sentence would be 12 years for each charge. so 24 years in prison. That's probably more than most people in her situation would get, but here's why I think it's warranted. 1, Maecee was driving on a suspended license. She fully understood that she was not permitted to drive. Not only did she drive, she drove under the influence of substances. 2, driving through a red light at 78 miles an hour is never acceptable. It wasn't like her impairment caused her to misjudge a turn or something like that. Her behavior was unbelievably dangerous. 3, Maecee initially tried to get away. At every point in this tragedy, Maecee was selfish and callous. Because of Maecee's decision to drive illegally and to drive under the influence, 2 people are dead. 2 people will never be coming home to their families. Loved ones will have to deal with that loss every day. Nothing will make that right. No sentence will change that. The people who were killed were completely innocent. They did not contribute to the collision in any way. This was a case where people minding their own business and simply driving to work were brutally killed out of nowhere by an immature and irresponsible individual. A substantial sentence is warranted to give Maecee time to consider the devastation that she caused. She claimed to be from the future. Perhaps Maecee should spend enough time in prison to get home. Those are my thoughts on the case of Maecee Marie Lathers. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They consistently generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.